Feels like it's been a long road trip. 2 lengthy trips, which are good at this time of the year. You learn a lot about yourself. You bond a little bit, but you learn the good and the bad and the ugly, and that's what early October is for. And then you try to address those issues and make sure we move forward together.
Just watching some of practice, you want these guys more physical, huh?
Yeah, it's not that everybody's going to be physical in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an important thing to understand. But everybody has to be physical. It's a contact sport. It just is. And guys that don't embrace that, with and without the puck, they usually struggle in this game. And so, Jesper Orval is going to hit guys differently than Jared Wilson is going to hit guys. And Jimmy DeVito is going to hit guys differently than Drew Melansky is going to hit guys. But everybody has to be physically engaged. It doesn't mean everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to kill people. That's not it at all. But especially when the puck is sitting between me and another guy, sticks don't win, bodies win. And you commit your body to winning a puck battle, not just your stick. Because if you commit a stick and an opponent commits a body, he'll win the battle 80% of the time. And we have to improve that area of our game.
And being relatively new to understanding hockey, I mean, I look at football, basketball, you're looking at speed, jumping ability. When you're recruiting, how much can you measure how physical a guy will be?
Well, and it's not just physical, too, because I've coached players that'll go finish a check, but when they're vulnerable and the puck is in their feet, they're not that tough.
Okay.
To me, there's nothing tougher than a guy that knows he's about to be hit, yet still has the guts to win that battle, or to protect the puck, or to make a play with the puck to put his teammate in a good position, knowing that he's going to get hit. It's like the quarterback in football holding the pocket that extra second to let the receiver get open, knowing he's going to get demolished. That takes real guts. To me, that takes more toughness than the strong safety in football that blows a guy up when he's vulnerable. So, that's something that you'll look for in recruiting, absolutely. But it's also something that has to be developed through time and understanding. And a lot of these guys got away with things in junior hockey because they were simply better.
Sure.
I think Mike Babcock's, arguably the best coach in the world right now, and he said it. He said the number one skill a player can have in the National Hockey League is the ability to win a battle. And because if you don't win puck battles, you don't have the puck. This weekend at North Dakota, we did a lot of good things, but we didn't win enough puck battles, and we let them have the puck too much.
And you showed that to guys, right? It sounds like on film.
You know what? We talked a little bit more this week about. Let's first of all let's look at what we did really good. We went and played the number one team in the country on the road in front of 12,000 people, and we didn't go out there deer in the headlights. We didn't go out there looking around at the big building and thinking how good they were with all their draft picks. We went out and outplayed them in the first period. Should have been up 2-0. It wasn't. That's probably was our mistake. It should have been 2-0. Instead, it was 1-1. So that was good. The other thing that was good is that we were within, it felt like you're about to get blown out in the second period. It was 3-1, 12,000 people are screaming, and we're spinning a little bit. And we righted the ship, we got it back to 3-2, and we gave ourselves a chance to win that game going in the third period. That's another really good thing. But we also want to learn at this time of the year, not just about ourselves. Let's learn from somebody else. They're the defending national champs. They're the number one team in the country. Okay, what can we learn from them? Well, look how physical they are. Look how committed they are to being to winning puck battles, to finishing checks, to back checking. Right. All their best players, Tyson Jost, Brock Besser, guys that are first round draft picks in the NHL, still being committed to. And I don't call that defensive hockey. That's winning hockey. That's how you win games. And so we tried to learn some lessons from what right now is the best team in the country.
Yeah, these drills you were doing on a third of the ice and everything, are these relatively new to this group or anything like that?
No, they're not new. They're a little new to this group because we only have 2 hours a week in September.
Okay.
And so a lot of that is structure, team play, power play, penalty kill, forecheck, neutral zone, things like that. And then And then we've had really kind of disjointed practice weeks because we played on Sunday against McGill, so we had to take Monday off because they have to give them a day off of the week. Then you had Tuesday, Wednesday really, and then we had to get on the bus on Thursday and go to Maine, so we really had about 2.5 practices that week. And then we come back from a long trip, and the guys were really beat up academically last week, and you could feel that, and we took an extra day off because of that, because they were getting swamped with school last week. And so heading into this week, I think we've only really had probably about 5 real practices. So we hadn't done, it's not new to the older guys, but some of those battle drills were a little bit new to the younger guys, and we just wanted to have an emphasis this week on our identity. And this is the identity of our program. This is how we won last year. This is how we went to the national tournament a few years ago. This is how we finished second in ECAC a couple of years back, is by being a blue-collar, hard-nosed team. I think we have more talent now, but we still have to play to our identity.
Chase is in his first season. Where does he need to come along for you guys, and what's he doing well?
Well, I think first of all we have to defend better in front of him. I think we're asking him to do too much as a first-year guy for us right now, I think that's evident by the amount of shots we're giving up. And again, a lot of that does go back to not winning enough battles and not back checking hard enough.
Yeah.
If the other team has the puck a lot, they're going to get scoring chances. So I think that's number one. I think number two is that he's come a long way. I think he's playing very calm. I think he's already made great strides in the 6 weeks or so here. I think that's game 1 and game 3 is probably one goal he'd like to have back. And against the North Dakota game, I thought he was fantastic. I think the 4th one is one he'd like to have back. And I think it's really important that not only you make big saves, but you make all the saves you're supposed to. Good teams are going to score on you. North Dakota's going to get 2 or 3 nice goals. That's the reason they're number 1. The ability to limit that one squeaker, that keeps it at 3-2. And now we're heading into the last 5-7 minutes of that game at 3-2, and maybe we hold the goalie and tie that thing up, and now all of a sudden we're coming back saying, hey, we just tied or maybe beat overtime the number 1 team in the country. So that's something he needs to still clean up. But I think one thing we forget is that at this time of Jason Kasdorf's time at RPI, he hadn't even earned his start yet.
Right.
He was so sloppy and a mess in practice, he hadn't even earned the opportunity to start a game until late November. This time of Alan York's career at RPI, he had already been pulled in 2 of his first 3 starts and didn't become the starting goalie until late January. So, I think it's a good reminder we got to keep things in perspective. He's not going to be perfect in the first couple weeks of the season. Those 2 guys' careers turned out pretty good here, and I have full faith that Chase's will too.